Fashion Nova is under fire for factory workers being paid as little as $2.77 an hour, and that's not the only drama they've faced recently. We're going to break it all down for you, but before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any updates. Okay, so just in case you aren't familiar with Fashion Nova, it's a mostly online retailer that specializes in fast fashion. Fast fashion is the concept of making expensive-looking clothes cheaply with a fast turnaround. The brand is beloved by many celebs, most famously Cardi B, as well as Instagram influencers and regular people. The brand's founder explained their customers in an interview last year, saying, quote, "They need to buy a lot of different styles and probably only wear them a couple of times so their Instagram feeds can stay fresh." He's also been quoted explaining that they can get new styles turned around in less than 2 weeks by manufacturers in Los Angeles. All of this sounds great, right? Well, here's where the behind-the-scenes issues have started to come to light. The U.S. Labor Department's Wage and Hour Division has found that many Fashion Nova garments are being created by workers with criminally low wages. A former leader of the department explained, quote, "It has all the advantages of a sweatshop system." According to the New York Times, in investigations conducted in 2016 through the present, they have discovered Fashion Nova clothing being made in dozens of factories that owed $3.8 million in back wages to hundreds of workers, meaning $3.8 million of pay did not go to the deserving employees. How does this happen? Well, the workers at these factories were paid as little as $2.77 an hour for their time. Now, it's important to note that these factories are hired by middlemen to produce garments for fashion brands. So Fashion Nova did not set the workers' wage at $2.77, but they hired someone who hired an independent factory that was taking advantage of its employees. After repeated violations were found, federal officials stepped in and met with Fashion Nova's lawyers to discuss the fact that over 4 years, their clothes were discovered in 50 investigations. So how is Fashion Nova responding? Their counsel revealed to the Times, quote, "We've already had a highly productive and positive meeting with the Department of Labor in which we discussed our ongoing commitment to ensuring that all workers involved with the Fashion Nova brand are appropriately compensated for the work they do." They continued on to say, "Any suggestion that Fashion Nova is responsible for underpaying anyone working on our brand is categorically false. Technically, under federal law, brands cannot get in trouble if they credibly claim they did not know their clothes were made by workers in illegal conditions, which is obviously Fashion Nova's main defense." In a statement, they explained that they have updated their agreement with vendors, so now if they learn a factory is violating labor laws, the brand will put the middleman that hired the factory on a 6-month probation. So no, they will not be fired or finished with Fashion Nova, just on probation. Another totally separate behind-the-scenes issue was just settled in court. A civil suit against the brand just reached a $1.75 million settlement. The complaint alleged that Fashion Nova violated consumers' rights by repeatedly failing to fulfill and ship orders within the legally mandated time frame. And it also alleged that Fashion Nova committed other violations of the law, like failing to adequately disclose its return policy on their website. The settlement calls for Fashion Nova to pay $250,000 in restitution to customers and another $1.5 million in cost penalties and other fees. They cooperated in the investigation and did agree to make changes to their business practices, but part of the settlement is that the brand doesn't have to admit any wrongdoing. The drama doesn't stop there. All of this comes after Versace decided to sue the brand for knocking off its iconic green J.Lo dress. Versace is arguing they deliberately imitated its, quote, "most famous and recognizable designs, including their black and gold Baroque motif and the jungle print J.Lo made iconic." Versace also claims the pieces sold by Fashion Nova may confuse customers because their similarity could allude to an affiliation between the two brands. Fashion Nova just responded to the claims with 32 defenses. They are arguing the copyright claims Versace holds over its designs should be removed as the prints are not original. Fashion Nova stated the referred to prints are, quote, "standard geometric figures and patterns which are in the public domain and widely used in the fashion apparel industry." They have concluded the pieces should not be protected by copyright and have even gone a step further to argue that 6 of the house's existing copyright registrations should also be invalidated on this basis. Fashion Nova's formal response sends a clear message that they are not looking to quietly sweep this matter aside. The case is moving forward towards discovery and maybe even a trial if neither party agrees to settle. In a nutshell, 2019 was a complicated year for Fashion Nova, and 2020 is kicking off with another complex legal fight. Some fans have started to express disappointment on Twitter. One fan wrote, "Shame on you, Fashion Nova, what a shame." And another shared, "Nah, Fashion Nova is canceled for 2020. But overall, Fashion Nova still has a very loyal and dedicated fan base, and as long as there is a demand for fast fashion, they'll have an audience. Forbes recently reported that the secondhand apparel market is on track to grow nearly 1.5 times the size of fast fashion by 2028, so only time will tell what the future looks like for Fashion Nova. All right, you guys, that's all the news I have to share with you. We want to know what you think about Fashion Nova. Are you a fan? Do these behind-the-scenes issues disappoint you? Let us know down in the comments. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell, then click right over here for another new video. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. You can follow me on socials at Fiona Zaring, and I'll see you guys next time.